Okay, so this week we are back in Quebec. Previous couple of vlogs we were in Toronto at my family gym, and we were climbing a lot of powerful boulders because that's what the gym style was. So let's see if I learned a thing or two about climbing on powerful boulders and see if I have like some new strength unlocked for today's first session back in Quebec. Got a lot of new boulders, a lot of hard looking boulders to try today, so it should be fun. We'll get started with a powerful looking boulder, steep, in the cave here, this green 9. Yeah, I was about to hop on it and then I thought, hey, maybe I should do a little bit more of a root read because there's a lot of moves here, and I'm glad that I did because I was gonna go up the left side here and then run into like no holds. And so I looked a little closer. I said, hey, look, there's a hold, a couple holds on the volume here. So that was almost a tragedy. That was a pretty hard one. I've done a couple 9s so far in my warm up. That one was a step up. Really got the body going. All right, let's keep it going with some new boulders. Okay, next up, I think we're ready to take it up to 10. For those who don't watch our previous videos, these are circuit grades, not V grades. So this isn't a V10. It's a circuit grade from 1 to 15. So yeah, we'll do this yellow 10. Looks a little bit funky with some bad holds. We have probably the crux looks like grabbing this undercling, and it's a slopey undercling. So what that tells me right off the bat is I want to make sure that my center of gravity is already quite high once I'm trying to use this undercling. If I try to grab it with my feet down here, I'm really not going to get any purchase off of it. So already preemptively I can tell maybe I need to get my foot up here, really get high so that I can stand up into this undercling. And then I think the ending doesn't look too bad. Oh. Okay, the ending was actually quite a bit harder than I thought, especially because my fingers still just aren't that strong and these little crimps were hurting. And this finish hold is like a blocked crimp, and there's a light right there shining right in your eyes as you're trying to look at where you're going. It's kind of funny. So not only was that hold like a blocked crimp, but I could like not see it at all. Okay, fingers not feeling so strong today, a little bit quivery. So I'll keep that in mind, maybe try to do open hand slopey boulders today for the most part. So I was saying at the beginning of the video that I was like, oh, maybe we'll see some strength gains from our sort of powerful climbing training camp that we did in Toronto at my family gym. But, I mean, I was kind of joking there, obviously. And yeah, in all seriousness, I should actually be expecting to feel the opposite effect. So I was just talking about how on those little yellow crimps, my fingers were feeling really quivery and just don't feel so strong today. It's probably because the previous week, I spent the entire week just climbing on powerful boulders, which I haven't been used to getting back into climbing after my 3 months off. Especially in Quebec, there's like a really good spread of technical slab and power boulders, whereas I was only doing power boulders for that 1 week. So if anything, my muscles have been broken down quite a bit in my fingers, just everywhere. So I should be expecting to feel them really sore and tired this following week. And then after I take like a few days of rest off, let those joints recover, that's when I'll actually be feeling the strength gains. But yeah, if you do like a bunch of powerful, hard physical load on a certain muscle group, you should definitely be expecting a dip in performance in the short-term future. So I should probably have cleared that up, which is what I'm doing now. Okay, next up we have this white 10. Looks pretty technical, kind of vert. Looks really fun. Looks like the key is really going to be maneuvering a perch on this right heel hook. And I think that's kind of a disguise. This one in the middle here is probably not actually a hand hold, probably more of a foot hold. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. You wouldn't really need to step on that because you would have already got to the finish. But anyway, I don't think I'm gonna grab it. I think I'd rather go up to the other sloper and match it. So let's try that. That was a fun little 3-mover, satisfying little boulder. All right, let's keep it going. Okay, so next up, we're gonna try this blue 11. And I've actually tried this one very briefly on a solo day when I was here by myself. And by very briefly, I mean like 2 attempts, because this one is really hard. I think 11 is maybe a little stiff for this one. It felt, maybe I was having a bad day, but it felt like I could do nothing at this beginning sequence. These holds are really bad, but maybe I can do something today, or at least spend a little more time trying to figure out the moves. So this one, I expect to be very tricky. So it's definitely this first move is kind of like a dynamic move, which is definitely the crux, I think. But it's not over even after that. Matching the sloper felt really hard. All right, attempt 1. Yeah, like that feels really hard to hold. And another thing that's kind of weird about this boulder is this start hold is really bad, but there's this like really juicy screw hole right here. And that's kind of where you want to put your hand anyway. So I'm not gonna take the time to like try and avoid my finger in this hole because that's where I want to grab anyway. And this feels hard enough, so I'm gonna say, hey, it's in the rules that you can use the screw holes, so I'm just gonna use it. Yeah. Maybe I should try just coming into this first. Like maybe it's not supposed to be a dynamic move, but it's a really tight compression. And typically when you see tight compressions on slopers like this, you're not meant to kind of squeeze them together. You're typically supposed to look for a wider compression, which I see here, and I want to jump into it because the worse the holds are, the wider you want your span to be. Let me try the ending, just see if I have that, if I can get the ending dialed. And that way, if I stick the first move, I know what I'm in for the rest of the boulder. Like, man, there's just a lot of hard moves on this. I think every move is hard. Hard double clutch, hard match, honestly. And then, I mean, maybe I don't have to do a toe catch. Maybe I can try and set the toe hook first. But it kind of feels like it's maybe a toe catch. Like so many hard moves. And then check out the finish hold. It's like upside down. Doesn't look like an easy finish match either. All right, I definitely think I'm not gonna try the first move again until I do the ending. Because then there's not enough hope to send the boulder if I can't even do the ending. All right, I guess I'll try to set the heel hook or the toe hook first, at the very least, just to rule it out. Like this is typically something you do if you're projecting. You want to at least rule out as much beta as possible so you find your best path sooner. If I was to just keep trying the same thing here, maybe it will work, but I'm potentially missing out on a better option. So let's just figure that out first, right? So I'll try to set a heel hook first probably, because I think it's too close to just set a toe hook first. Okay, so that didn't work, but it actually helped me find something else, which is really interesting. Basically, I tried the toe catch again, obviously, but something was subtly different. And that's where my left foot was placed as I was going for the toe catch. So my first try, I just let it kind of dangle down below me. But on that try, I just tried to set the heel, right? And then I said, nah, I don't like this. And what I did is actually like, hey, I'm just gonna let my foot kind of hover here so that there's less time for the toe catch to snag. Sorry, there's less distance that my toe has to travel to snag the toe catch, meaning it gets there quicker, right? Before I've already fallen away too much. So that's really helpful actually. And it feels like there's actually less to coordinate because my foot's kind of already right there. Even if I wasn't thinking about it, my toe would probably accidentally just snag on the toe hook. So that's my plan of attack, I think. I'm going to have my foot hover there to make the toe catch easier to find. Let's try that again. that ending, this undercling is worse than I thought. Oh man, I don't know about that. Okay, there's a working jug there, so I can at least try the last move. This boulder is really hard though. But that's cool, the toe hook worked really well. Okay, I'll try that ending. I mean, maybe it's just my kind of weak finger day that this left-hand undercling is feeling really bad. But yeah, I don't know, like that finish is hard. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Let's just try it individually now. Okay, I mean, the problem that makes this last move so hard is I'm so low and I'm going into a hold that's upside down. I want to be getting high and getting like up into it. So I almost want to think about going two hands like dynamically. Because if I hit it so low, like what do? I can't inch my way up because I have an undercling with my left hand. So let's just get on and figure something out. Maybe it's two hands. Man, okay, that'll work, but I don't know if there's a world in which I'm doing that from the start of the boulder. Like that is so physically intense. Holy cow, I got like a head rush from that. Okay, let's give it a couple more tries from the beginning. See if I can at least set a high point. And maybe this can be a project that we revisit on another day. But yeah, setting this one today is maybe a little questionable. Let's just see if we can at least get to the last move from the beginning. Oh, man, you see how like I'm trying to just squat up this last move and I literally, my leg is just giving out because it's so physically intense and so hard. But yeah, like, I think that's the way. Just maybe I'm lacking the fitness. I'll give it another try. It was really cool that I set that high point, but I think that I definitely wouldn't be doing this first move if I wasn't like committing to using the screw hole, because that's allowing me to like do this, right? But if I was just sloping it, I don't think I could hold that compression. The only reason I can hold the compression is with like the little extra bit of the screw hole. Oh man. I think there's also something that I need to focus on preemptively for this upper part. I realized it too late, I think, on that last attempt. And I had burned too much energy fixing my mistake, and that's why I just fell. So the mistake I'm talking about is where I placed my left foot on this big guy here in order to work my right heel up. So let's think about it for a second. What makes this move so physically difficult? It's how high the left foot is. Right, if the left foot was lower, it'd be a lot more chill. But with our foot all the way up here, we have this like really intense deadlift position kind of. So basically the lower our foot is, the easier and less physical the move is. And we have the surface that slopes off like this, which means we can actually manipulate the height of our foot more than we think we can, because it's not just a hold that's fixed. We have this kind of, obviously, degrees of where we can step on the hold. So on my previous attempt, I stepped too much to the left of the big one, which is obviously higher than the right side. So I need to shift a little bit down right to just take a little bit of that strain off my body. But of course, I don't want to go too far to the right because then my foot's in a worse spot. It's only to the right side of me and the hold slopes off too much. So I have to find that sweet spot. It definitely needs to be a little more right than it was. And I need to do it as fast as possible before I waste all my energy. Okay, so what I'm gonna say now is that's as close to ascend as I'm gonna get. I think the way to match that finish hold is to kind of Gaston. Because there's a little bit, like in Gaston, get some opposition, but this is my bad shoulder, still not fully healed. No way I'm gonna commit to like a really intense match like that. That's good progress for today. Let's keep moving on. Okay, next up is this red 13. And I still haven't done a 13 yet since coming back to climbing. So I'm always on the lookout for what could potentially be my first. And this one, yeah, it has maybe a good opportunity. Like no crimps, so I don't have to worry about my kind of weak finger day. In fact, there's kind of a jug in it. And anytime you see a jug, it typically means, like in a hard boulder, typically means like there's some kind of jumping or something like that, which is usually my style. So that's another good sign. It's also short, which is good because my power endurance isn't the best it's ever been. But of course, where's the hard part then? And it's probably gonna be the technical element of this boulder. Really bad looking slopers at the end, so I'm gonna have to find a good body position to maneuver those slopers. All right, let's put the first try on. Okay, well that was already like a better first attempt than I was thinking. I thought I wouldn't stick this on my first try, so that's a good sign. Let's try the upper section next. Okay, so we're gonna try the upper part next. And gotta say, it definitely looks like the crux. These slopers look really bad. I'm gonna have to heel hook the start hold for sure. I don't know if I wanna go like this first and then up, or potentially match like this and go up like this. I feel like the match is better, because then I could potentially get a heel and bypass the one all the way at left. So I'll try that better. I think it's like higher payoff. So I'll try that beta first. So let's see. Ouch. I wonder if the mic picked that up. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, crux discovered. Can my right heel hook stick on the sloper? Yeah, like I almost did that move after like wasting time trying something that wasn't working. So that's a really good sign. If I can almost do that with like a bit of grease and like non-focus, that's a good sign. Yeah, really got to place that heel hook well, because it's just all about like that moment of like, and the heel's got to stay. And if the heel stays, it should be a chill move to the finish. And then hopefully the finish match isn't too hard. Yeah, I'm also like, maybe if you haven't noticed, I'm trying some new shoes today. So this is like my third session wearing them. These are the Souped Ups by Unparallel. And I'm not quite used to the heel, but these shoes are like hyper soft. The heel too, which is actually a good thing for a heel like this, where it's like kind of relying on friction and getting the ball of your foot like really soaked into that sloper. The softer the shoe, the more the heel can spread and kind of get more contact area with the surface of what it's heel hooking. So these shoes are definitely what I would want for this kind of heel hook. So I definitely have no excuses. I mean, the heel hook is so bad that it's just gonna slip sometimes, no matter how well equipped you are. But I at least feel good that I have the tools that I need. So honestly, I think I can just try from the start now. Yeah, it's not that pumpy, so let's just rep out some send attempts. That move is so finicky. Like it's really difficult to generate anything for that because your foot is so low. But man, I gotta say, like this start and the next move is why bouldering is such a sick sport. This feels so sick. This move is so fun. He's just floating on like these bad surfaces into this really cool jump move. This is why bouldering is the best. I think the trick with this foot stab move is to have a better plan of attack and not just kind of swing around and wait for the right time to go. I think my plan is I hold, I kick left, kick right, and then go. And yeah, typically if you just like know what you're doing, you're gonna have better odds to stick a move rather than trying to accidentally do something. So here I am putting a bit more thought into it. Okay, hold on. The real crux is discovered. What the heck? That finish hold is really bad. Oh no. That's very sad. I thought I could do this. Now I'm not sure. It actually kind of uses a bit more finger power than I expected because the hold is like really bad. You kind of have to crimp it basically. I used to be really good at these holds because I had strong fingers and I could really crimp them. But now I just feel like it just slides right off. Huh. I gotta try that individually. It's one thing to stick the move, and then similar to that last blue boulder, I have to match the hold too. Oh my goodness. But at least I figured out how to maneuver the heel hook. And what I did actually is, remember I was talking about how the important part is getting our heel to stay there. How are we gonna achieve that? Well, more pressure, the better. The more pressure on that heel, the less likely it's gonna slip. So what I did is I threw my left toe on the side of this volume so I could compress my legs, therefore increase the amount of pressure on my right heel and have it not slip. All right, let's try that last move. Man, these finish move cruxes are sad. You have to hit that so perfectly. Like be in the perfect spot where you don't have a bobble. I gotta try that a couple more times. Okay, matching it is actually easy. Like, if I just get that heel in, you're like so locked in. That's surprising actually. So all I need to do is stick it. Easier said than done. This is kind of the move where there's a very small window you have of like hitting it perfectly, being super still. And if you're anywhere outside that window, it doesn't matter how close, I'm not strong enough to like recover. I'm either in the window or I'm not. So it's all about, when it's this kind of situation, it's all about the focus, not about trying hard. It's about that focus. Be perfect. So I gotta focus up. That was not perfect. It needs to be perfect. Luckily, I've got the beta dialed down so much that's not that tiring. I have a few more Sengos in me. Oh. Okay, that send is actually the power of breathing. That was like the power of breathing. That was the most I like really emphasized it on any of the attempts prior. I'm like, I just need to dig deep. I need to be perfect, but breathing doesn't also just help you dig deep in terms of physicality. It also helps you dig deep mentally. Like if you're breathing, you really can like, okay, you're like really taking that space. Like, how do I find that window that I was talking about? Man, breathing just helps with everything. It helps with your brain, helps with your muscles. It helped me hold a foot cut I didn't think that I could hold on those finish holds. That was a sick send. This boulder is sick. This is one of the sickest boulders I've done recently. Really, really fire. That felt good. First 13, being back to rock climbing after some time off. All right, that one tired me out pretty good. Really satisfying. Let's do some more fun boulders. Good. Okay, I almost forgot about this one. This blue 10. This one looks really fun. This is a Chris special. Chris is one of the setters here, and he loves those campus paddles. He's really good at setting them, so they're always a lot of fun as well. So I'm excited to try this one. Last move looks a little bit crazy. Maybe it's just a big jump? I think so, honestly. See if we can flush. Yeah, that was very, very fun. The trick with that kind of campus bump move is you want to stop for a second and like reload and then go again. I've had a lot of practice with that move because it's very common in the Bloc gyms. All right, let's do some more boulders. Okay, next up we have this white 10 on the slab. Very nice, minimalistic looking boulder. Looks like potentially some sort of jump into a mantle. So with my bad shoulder, I might have to find a workaround, be careful. I think there's a lot of different things to try that could help me, I think. This one looks really fun. Honestly, the start looks pretty hard. I didn't look too closely yet. Should I try and grab the holds like this? I feel like no, because that's such a close compression. Oh, you know what? I think I have my beta. I won't reveal it. Let's see if it works. Okay, I think that's kind of sick to get into that position. I kind of rushed it, I think, by doing that. Maddie can always do that sort of move where she has her wrist turned the wrong way and she can just do this. I myself am a human, mortal being. I can't do that. So what can I do in this position? Let's think about it. You know what I think? I think from this position, I can cut my feet, step on this, which is really slopey and bad, but might be just enough to switch my hand, and then I can do whatever I want. So that's gonna be my plan of attack for attempt 2. Cool little tricky finish match. I had to touch the finish with my thumb still there. Okay, I gotta admit, I've been neglecting my stretching, so getting that foot up was really hard. But also, yeah, wait, what the heck? I was actually able to do the wrist thing. I think what I did is, I rotated my wrist as much as I could like this to allow myself to open up. But I think before I was like too like this. So I didn't realize, like this is a common thing to think about, and a very similar concept actually to what we were talking about in the blue boulder from earlier, where I was saying that hold kind of slopes off. And if we want to achieve the effect where our foot is lower to take strain off that deadlift position, we can actually manipulate it by stepping in a different spot on the hold instead of just saying, I wish the foothold was lower. Same kind of thing with this scenario. It's not just a yes or no or black and white answer. So it's not like my hand is either like this or it's like this. My hand can also be like this or like this, right? There's a whole spectrum of like how rotated your wrist is. And sometimes all I need is just that little bit of openness to allow me to get my foot up. And like just 1 centimeter too rotated like this, I'm not mobile enough to get the foot up. So before you look for like, or like sometimes if you're like, oh, I wish there's a massive change I could make, ask yourself, hey, is there like a way I can manipulate an angle or degree with what I have, right? So that's always something to look for. All right, a couple more. Next up, we have this blue comp boulder. So we have circuits from 1 to 15 here at Bloc, but we also have a select few, like maybe 5, maybe 6 boulders throughout the gym that are just listed as comp style boulders. They have a zone hold as well. And there's no V grade or no circuit grade on them. So it's kind of just a guess. It's always a mystery. This one looks pretty doable, I think. Looks really fun. Maybe some jumps, some hand flips, that kind of thing, which I very much like. All right, fun one to finish off the vlog. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.